How did it come about that a man born poor, losing his mother at birth and soon deserted by his father, afflicted with a painful and humiliating disease, left to wander for 12 years among alien cities and conflicting faiths, repudiated by society and civilization, repudiating Voltaire, Diderot, the Encyclopedia, PDE, and the Age of Reason, driven from place to place as a dangerous rebel suspected of crime and insanity, and seeing in his last months the apotheosis of his greatest enemy? How did it come about that this man, after his death, triumphed over Voltaire, revived religion, transformed education, elevated the morals of France, inspired the Romantic movement in the French Revolution, influenced the philosophy of Kant and Schopenhauer, the plays of Schiller, the novels of Goethe, the poems of Wordsworth, Byron, and Shelley, the socialism of Marx, the ethics of Tolstoy, and altogether had more effect upon posterity than any other writer or thinker of that 18th century, in which writers were more influential than they had ever been before. Here, if anywhere, the problem faces us. What is the role of genius in history, of man versus the mass and the state? Europe was ready for a gospel that would exalt feeling above thought. It was tired of the restraints of customs, conventions, manners, and laws. It had heard enough of reason, argument, and philosophy. All this riot of unmoored minds seemed to have left the world devoid of meaning. The soul, empty of imagination and hope, secretly men and women were longing to believe again. Paris was weary of Paris, of the turmoil and hurry, the confinement and mad competition of city life. Now it idealized the slower pace of the countryside, where a simple routine might bring health to the body and peace to the mind, where one might see modest women again, where all the village would meet in meekly armistice at the parish church. And this proud progress, this vaunted emancipation of the mind, had they put anything in place of what they had destroyed? Had they given a man a more intelligible or inspiring picture of the world and human destiny? Had they improved the lot of the poor, or brought consolation to bereavement or pain? Rousseau asked these questions, gave form and feeling to these doubts, and after his voice was stilled, all Europe listened to him, while Voltaire was being idolized on the stage and at the Academy 1778, and while Rousseau, berated and despised, hid in the obscurity of a Paris room. The age of Rousseau began. Something. I am forming an enterprise which has had no example and whose execution will have no imitator. Was born at Geneva in 1712, son of Isaac Rousseau and Suzanne Bernard, citizens. He consoled himself with intense reading of books borrowed from a nearby library, with Sunday excursions into the countryside. Early in the summer of 1729, Rousseau, now 17, felt again the call of the open road. Moreover, he hoped that with Madame de Warrens, he might find some employment less galling to his pride, along with a jolly Genevan lad named Bacchus. He marched from Turin to and through the Mount Cenis pass of the Alps to Chambéry and Annecy, his romantic pen-colored the emotion with which he approached Madame de Warrens' dwelling. My legs trembled under me, my eyes were clouded with the mist. I neither saw, heard, nor recollected anyone, and was obliged frequently to stop that I might draw breath and recall my bewildered senses. Doubtless he was uncertain of his reception. How could he explain to her all his vicissitudes since leaving her? Her first glance banished all my fears. My heart leaped at the sound of her voice. I threw myself at her feet, and in transports of the most lively joy, I pressed my lips upon her hand. She did not resent adoration. She found a room for him in her house. And when some eyebrows rose, she said, "They may talk as they please, but since Providence has sent him back, I am determined not to abandon him." So it's a little bit of Will and Ariel Durant on Rousseau and Revolution.